Hey guys, Ben here from TalkSpeak English. So you've clicked on this video because you've got an English speaking exam coming up, but you're not quite sure where to start. Maybe you're studying for the Cambridge exam and you need some phrases to help buy you some time and avoid those awkward silences. Or maybe you just want to learn how to agree and disagree effectively. Stick around because I'm going to answer all of these and more. All I ask in return is you consider liking and or subscribing for more great content in the future. Now enjoy the video. Now guys, I know speaking exams are probably the most nerve-wracking thing when it comes to learning English in general. It's only natural to be nervous, but by having some phrases that can buy you some time, it could really make a difference on the day of the exam. Let's jump straight in. First up, we have the phrase, "That's a tricky question, really." Let's take a look at an example. Oh, that's a tricky question, really. The only solution that I can see is to try and raise awareness of the problem before it's too late. Maybe you really need to buy some time just to think about your answer and how to phrase it. Another good way to do this is to use the phrase, "Interesting. How can I put this?" Let's have a look at it in action. Interesting. How can I put this? I believe in order to be productive, you need to focus on one thing at a time. So notice here, I've given myself probably 1 or 2 seconds just to formulate the answer in my head and really buy myself some more time in those crucial moments. You can also give yourself more time by acting interested in the comment and reflecting on it. This next one works like a charm. I have to admit, I haven't thought much about it before, but... So again here, we can use this one to really give ourselves a couple of seconds just to think about the answer that we're going to give. I have to admit, I haven't thought much about it before, but the culture of hooliganism is a huge problem in certain sporting events. Next up, we have agreeing and disagreeing. This is really an art form in English, and being able to agree and disagree with your speaking partner can really show the examiner that you mean business and you can communicate effectively. Let's start by looking at how to agree naturally with your partner. First up, we have the informal phrase, "I see where you're coming from." And this is excellent if you want to strongly agree with what your partner has said. Maybe you want to agree to their specific point of view. In this situation, you can use a couple of phrases. I personally like the phrases, "I'll go along with that," or the phrase, "I have to say, you've got a point there." Both of these phrases work really well in this situation. If you want to change the topic and introduce something new, you could try something like, "Yeah, good point. Have you thought about..." Depending on the topic and your partner, you might feel like disagreeing with them. But how can we do this in a natural and non-aggressive way? Let's take a look at some examples. We love being indirect in English, and when it comes to disagreeing, it's no different. So again, you want to try and avoid being direct because this could come across as rude. And the last thing you want to do is come across as rude in your exam. You could try something like, "I'm sorry, but I think you're missing the point." Not only does this buy you more time, it also sounds awesome when used with a counter-argument. "I'm sorry, but I think you're missing the point. I believe teachers are under an incredible amount of stress and the government's failings only add to the problem." Another great phrase to disagree is, "I think there might be another way of looking at it." I think there might be another way of looking at it. Imagine being a celebrity. Yeah, you have all the money, but you would also have to deal with people and stress all the time. Now, if you want to be more direct, you can try adding something like, "I'm afraid" or "I'm sorry," instead of just directly saying, "I don't agree." This will help you sound more professional and less mean. "I'm afraid I don't agree with you. Skincare is incredibly important, especially in a hot climate, where the sun is stronger and the UV rays can be harmful." Hey guys, Thanks for watching up to this point. If you like this video and you want to see more great content in the future, please subscribe and don't forget to click the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Let's jump straight back in. If you have a dialogue, it's natural at some point you're probably going to have to ask what the other person thinks. This can be a bit of a tricky and difficult situation for many students, as it can feel awkward and unnatural. By having some phrases ready and prepared, you can avoid some of these potentially difficult moments. You can start with a simple question that puts the attention back on the other person and buys you some time to think. And this is any ideas. Notice here that I've left a gap, and this of course is the gap for the other person's name. Here's an example. It's true that we need to focus on education if we want to stop climate change. Any ideas, John? Next up, we have the simple but effective phrase, what about you? What do you think? And again here, you'll want to replace the gap with your speaking partner's name. Honestly, technology and the rate it's advancing scares me. I'm sure they'll have robots for everything soon. What about you, Mary? What do you think? You could also go for the formal approach and start by asking, would you care to? Like in the next example. Would you care to tell me what you think? If you teach people what, and importantly, how to recycle, pollution wouldn't be such a problem. Would you care to tell me what you think? You can also use the verb reckon. What do you reckon? Racism has no place in any sport, and I believe organisations need to monitor it more closely and give out severe penalties for anyone caught being racist. What do you reckon? Dialogues are all about showing the examiner that you can converse naturally. And what better way to do this than being able to open and close a conversation with style? Now there are a million ways to start a conversation or to change a topic in English. So I've chosen some of my favourites. Firstly, you can ease into the conversation by offering your partner the option. We could start by talking about, in this situation, it's unlikely that they're going to refuse your invitation, and immediately you've gained control of the conversation. We could start by talking about how easy it is to fall victim to cybercrime and how sophisticated criminals are becoming. Another great way to introduce a topic is by using the phrase, why don't we begin by discussing? Why don't we begin by discussing the role that fast food has in the ongoing obesity epidemic that is plaguing our country? If you want, you can also be direct and show your confidence by saying, let's talk about something first. For example, let's talk about the possible link between social media and depression first. Just like opening the discussion is important, being able to close it is also super important if you want to show the examiner who's boss. My two favourite phrases to do this are, I think we need to make a decision. You can use this one if you're pushed for time and you need to lead your partner to an agreement quickly. If you want to take the softer and less direct approach, you might try something like, shall we come to an agreement? And this is a very open-ended question which gives your partner time to process their answer and helps you both come to an agreement together. So there we are, guys. There are some awesome phrases to help you in your speaking exam and hopefully calm some of those pre-speaking exam nerves that you might have. Once again, don't forget to subscribe, but also click the bell if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.